All right, well, welcome everybody. Welcome to Power Yoga. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share this practice with you today. Got a great one lined up for us, and we're just going to get right to it. So let's go ahead and find a seated position. We're going to start in that seated position, and I'm going to just sit back on my mat as we get there. If you're following along on the playlist, number 12 today, go ahead and get that started. Let's go ahead and get that started. And as we settle into this seated position, if we can, just find a nice, good posture. Sitting nice and tall from the crown of our head through to our tailbone. Okay, just allow ourselves this time to begin to just settle in. Just to settle in. Taking our right hands and maybe just resting in our belly, left hand on our heart. And start to just get in touch with your heartbeats a little bit as we begin to breathe in and out and get in touch with our breath. And as we start to observe our breath, start to lengthen the inhales, or deepen the inhales and lengthen the exhales. Start to just engage in that nice, deep breath. It's a deliberate breath. It's something that we have to think about. So remember today that we call this a practice for a reason. We call this a practice for a reason. And if you remember back growing up and going through different organized events, whether it was sports or whether it was band or whatever you were doing rehearsals for, practice was something where we did some things repetitively, where we allowed ourselves to learn, allowed ourselves to grow. And it was the only real opportunity we allowed ourselves to do that in that safe space where we'd continue to do things perhaps over and over again. And, sometimes it created frustration depending on our coaches or instructors. But in our yoga practice, this is a safe space for each one of us where we allow ourselves the freedom, to remove that judgment, to remove that frustration, to invite ourselves wherever we're at and however we're at to our mats so that our practice becomes just that. Giving ourselves that permission to fail, giving ourselves permission to not be perfect. And get this, if we allow ourselves the permission to fail, if we allow ourselves the permission to not be perfect, we're actually setting ourselves up for what we need for our own success. I'll say that again. If we set ourselves up to fail, if we allow ourselves to do that, then we're actually setting ourselves up to succeed. We're creating those conditions for ultimate success through our practice. Good. Let's begin just rocking in circles. Eyes open or closed, totally up to you. Let's begin moving and creating that connection with our mind and our body. Starting to just feel the sensations of our body. And then go ahead and switch directions on those circles. Staying in touch with that deep breath, we'll continue to breathe in and out as deeply as we can because we're going to use that breath to guide the pace in which we move. We're going to use that breath as our indicator in terms of how deeply we move our bodies today. Let's come to stillness and bring our hands to heart center. Connecting now breath and movement. As we shoot those hands straight up, inhale and reach nice and high. Exhale and fan those arms out to the side, palms to the sky. Nice long exhale. Inhale deeply in and then lengthen that exhale. Let those arms drape to the side. Good. Reach nice and high through those fingertips as high as you can. Then exhale and fan those arms out nice and wide. Give me two more just like that. Reach, 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 and exhale. Again, trying to connect every movement we do with either an inhale or an exhale through our nose or our mouth. Awesome. Left hand grabs onto the shin, right hand fans up and inhales as we reach to the sky, and exhale as we circle that hand through. Good. Give me four more just like that. Inhale, reach nice and high, and exhale. Trying to connect it not only with the feeling of the breath, but the sound of the breath. Trying to hear the inhales and the exhales as you move your body and flow through this. Give me one more time. Good, and then inhale and hold that right hand up there. Good, look at that right hand and press our hips to the right side. Just reach into those ribs and reach as high as you can through that hand, okay? And get a nice stretch through the shoulder. Awesome. Take an inhale, fill those lungs, expand those ribs, and exhale, bring that right hand through. Awesome. Same thing, other side. Inhale that left hand up and exhale as we circle it through. Continue to deepen that inhale, lengthen that exhale. Connecting movement and breath. Again, that breath is guiding the pace in which we move. Feel into the ribs, into the side of our bodies. Awesome. And then this last time right here, put that left hand up into the sky, reach nice and high, hold it up there. Continue to breathe, expand those ribs, press those hips to the left side of the room. Try to get that left glute to stay on the mat. And then breathe in as deeply as you can. Expand those ribs and feel the stretch through here and through the shoulder. Exhale that left hand through. Let's come over the top of our legs. We'll find all fours. We'll find all fours. Good. All right. So shoulders right above those hands. Hips right above those knees. We're digging in those hands, getting that nice Hasta Bandha. Strong hands, strong wrists, strong forearms. Center of our palms lightly lift up off the mats. And let's start rocking in a circle. Hips to heels and shoulders in front of those fingertips. Just a couple times to get those wrists working a little bit. Get those hands warmed up. And then go ahead and switch into the other direction. There we are. Good. Very nice, very nice. Then we're going to come to stillness and do a little bit of a wavy cat and cow. So imagine a wave is going through your body. That wave doesn't go through all at the same time. Okay, so from this cat and cow, we're going to look up first. And then squeeze our shoulder blades. And then drop our bellies down. Then lift our tailbone up to the sky. And then we're going to exhale as we look down. And separate our shoulder blades. And round our spine. And then tuck our tailbone under. And keep doing that. Inhale, look up. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Drop the belly and lift the tailbone. And then exhale, look down. Separate those shoulders. Round that spine and tuck that tailbone. Just keep flowing now. Inhale and wave through your body. From the crown of your head to your tailbone, just imagine that's happening. And then exhale and allow that wave to just go through your body. Keep going. Make that wave just like a wave would be if we're just rocking on a little boat. Nice and soothing. Nice and soothing. Good. And just allow it to flow through your body, from the crown of your head to your tailbone. Need two more just like that. Inhaling as we look up, exhaling as we're looking down. Good, all right. As we come to stillness, I'm going to face you. Stay in this all fours. We're going to take that left leg out to the side. Keep that whole foot on the ground right there. And with our knee, bring it to the outside of the hip just a little bit. Just a little bit. From here, we're going to sit back as if we're doing child pose with that leg straight out. So I call it half child pose. Bring your hips to your heels and just walk those hands forward as we bring our hips back toward our heels. This may bother the knee a little bit, so adjust that knee maybe a little bit more out to the side to where it doesn't feel as bad. Getting a nice deep stretch, trying to maintain that left foot on the ground, onto your mat as best you can. Good, and then just breathe in and expand those ribs, trying to bring our ears between our arms. From here, keep the left hand right on the ground, thread the needle, and bring that right arm underneath the armpits, and just rest the right side of your head down on to the floor, to the mat, whatever surface you have below your head. Just a nice relaxation. Good. A little bit deeper stretch now inside that left leg. And then stabilize your head onto the ground as we lift that left hand up toward the sky. Breathing through this, if we find that breath constrains, that's our body's way of saying maybe that's a little bit too much, maybe that's overboard, maybe we're pushing our bodies to the brink, and we need to find some humility. We need to ease back just a little bit. Exhale that left hand back down, and then let's come back up top, and we'll take that left leg and step it forward. So we're staying on the right knee, that hip's right above the knee now. Got a little twist, so let's bring our hands to prayer, fingertips facing forward, open that left hand up, and then exhale it back to center. Open and inhale, and exhale back front and center. 3 more times, big inhale, as we're rotating, staying nice and tall, crown of our head to our tailbone. All right, there we go. Excellent. 1 more time. Inhale. And exhale. Bring both hands on top of that left leg. And that right hand now sweeps up nice and tall for a side bend. Look at the right fingertips. Press the hips to the right side. Awesome. Feeling that stretch now in through our hip flexors and then into the top of that right quad. Breathe in nice and deep so we expand through our ribs and hit those muscles that are between our ribs. We can stretch by using our breath. Breathe in and exhale and release. Very nice. Let's come back to all fours. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Take that right foot, shoot it out to the side. That left knee comes to the outside of that left hip. Shoelace side of that left foot, and then bring your hip back towards your left heel. Walk in those arms. Walk in those arms forward. Walk in those hands forward. Good. And then from here, we're going to thread that needle. Left hand comes onto that right armpit. Set the left side of our head down. Good stretch in between our shoulder blades. And when it's comfortable, as we settle, make sure we're not putting too much stress on our neck as we float our right hand up toward the sky. Again, just breathe in through this nice and evenly and nice and calmly, which means we're in control of our body's position. We're in control of what we're doing. We're in tune with the moments. We're present. We're here. We're right now. And we're experiencing everything we can in this moment. So we exhale that right hand down. Awesome. Let's come right back up, staying on the left knee. Walk that right foot forward. And then let's sit nice and tall. Both hands forward. Inhale the right hand only as we twist and open up to the right side. Exhale back to center. Inhale. Do that 4 more times. And exhale back to center. Good. Keep going. Big deep breaths. One last time. Inhale. And then exhale back to center. Let's bring those hands onto the hips now. And that left hand floats up toward the sky. Side bend. Press the hips to the left side. To the left side. And then breathe in. Expand those lungs to expand those ribs. Whew. All right. As we come back to all fours. Now you might be facing the head of your mat, and that's fine. You don't need to straddle your mat. So continue to face the head of your mat, and then let's just step back to plank position. I'm going to stay facing you. So I'm just curling my toes, and I'm finding plank position. Then I'm going to walk my feet wide, very wide outside of my hips. And from this high plank with wide feet, I'm going to draw my ears between my arms. So I find a wide leg downward facing dog. You might feel the heels come all the way to the ground. You might not, and that's okay. Stay right here in this wide leg downward dog. So your hands might be on your mat and your feet might be straddling your mat, and that's fine. Breathe in and just continue to lift those hips a little bit more. Draw those ears between your arms and try and lengthen your spine from the crown of your head to your tailbone. Awesome. go. So we're going to begin walking our hands toward our feet, towards the back of our mat, if that's the way your mat's positioned. All right, from here, begin bending those knees and sitting into those legs, and then lengthen the left leg as we put a bend in that right. So just a side lunge right here. We may be way up high on the leg, or we may be down on the ground. Either way, we're going to just block that right arm into that right leg and then point the left hand across the body up toward the sky. We can be right here, forearm on top of the leg, avoid the knee. Good. Both feet facing right towards the front. So everything's squared up to the front. Awesome. Good. Same thing. Walk it over to the other side. Walk it over, block that left arm to the inside of that left leg, or forearm on top of the leg, avoid the knee. And just reach across. Reach across. Perfect. Walk those hands to center. Both hands right below the face, and then the right hand stays there. Inhale the left hand to the sky. Both legs nice and long. Nice and long without locking those knee joints. So straddle, twist. Again, it doesn't matter which way we're facing right now. Just a wide stance, and then exhale that left hand down. Inhale the right. Maintaining that nice deep breath. That nice deep breath. Exhale, both hands down. Begin to heel and toe those feet. So where they're still wider than our mat's width, toes slightly pointing out, and then sit down into a yogi squat. Sit down to a yogi squat, trying to maintain both heels to toes on the ground. I'm going to come onto my mat since I'm way off it right now. Okay, and just find that depth that works for you. I can get really low. That's just because I got the hip mobility. Okay, so we might be at the back of our mats right now, and that's okay. All right, from here, we're going to alternate between these yogi squats and a big high reach. Come on down, back to that squat, and reach. Trying to maintain heels to toes on the ground. If you're finding those heels are lifting, then separate those feet a little bit more. If you find those heels are lifting, reduce the range of motion a little bit more. Give me 2 more. Exhale and inhale. And exhale and inhale. Exhaling to heart center. Very nice. Let's find the front of our mats. We'll just step forward to the front of our mats, and we'll continue on with our sun salutation A's. Sun salutation A's. Here we go. Inhale, shoot those hands up nice and tall. Exhale and forward fold. Nice long spine as we come on down. Inhale up to a flat back, draping our hands across our shins, resting below our knees. Long spine, crown of our head to our tailbone. As we exhale, set the hands down, step back to that plank position. And then we'll inhale and rock those shoulders in front of those fingertips. That protects our shoulders. From here, decision time, stay on the toes or come to the knees. For a half push-up, which is optional, we can always go from plank position to down dog. So that half push-up, we're going to look up, and we're in cobra if we're still on our knees and maybe our hips are still down, or if we're on the shoelace side of our feet, floating those legs up, upward dog. We'll exhale back to downward dog as we curl those toes and lift those hips, bring those ears between those arms. On the inhale, we're going to look forward and step forward towards the front of our mat. We'll bend in those knees, exhale, and then inhale, sweep those hands all the way up and exhale right back to heart center. Let's really be very deliberate about connecting movements and breath. Inhale, on up and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up to flat back, and exhale, step back. Inhale, rock forward, make your choice right here, cobra, or half push up from the knees or toes, your choice, and then cobra, upward dog, also your choice. Remember, you go from plank position to exhale, downward dog. Inhale, step or hop forward. Exhale into those legs and reverse that swan dive. Fill those lungs as much as you can. Right back to heart center again. Inhale up and exhale and fold. Inhale up to flat back and exhale, bring it on back. Good. Rock and roll forward. Exhale that half push up. Inhale, look up And exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, step or hop forward and exhale into those legs. Inhale, sweep up nice and tall, and exhale, right back to heart center. Let's do a couple more as we inhale and reach for it, and exhale, come on down. Inhale up to flat back, and exhale, step it on back. Rock and roll forward, protect those shoulders, and exhale, come down. Inhale, look nice and high, and exhale, tailbones into the sky. Inhale, step forward, and bend those knees. Inhale, nice and tall, and exhale, heart center. One last time as we inhale it up nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up, flat back, and exhale, bring it back. Go through your vinyasa flow. We'll all meet at downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Okay. Once we find downward dog, look forward, step forward, inhale, and then exhale, sink into chair pose. Sitting down, thumbs up toward the sky, feet and knees together, or separate those feet. Good, sitting down, nice and low. Nice and low in the chair pose. Good, again, those hands can be at heart center as an option. All right. From chair pose, let's alternate between lifting our heels and then setting them down. Squeeze our calves and set them down 3 more times. Inhale up and exhale, set those heels. Good, a little balance right there. Almost wobbled over and tipped over. That's okay. All right, lift up and exhale down. Good. Inhale and then exhale. Set the heels down and forward fold. Inhale up to flat back. Exhale, hands down. Step back to plank and rock and roll forward. Vinyasa flow. Meet back in downward facing dog. From here, float that right foot up toward the sky, 3-legged dog. Put a bend in the knee and open the hip. So we're getting a stretch on the right side. No knee pulls today. We're just going to draw that right foot through, nice and slow, and set that foot down between our hands. Now, if it only goes halfway and we grab that foot, that works for me. Do that. Set that back heel down, float up, warrior 1. Good, I'm going to face you. Warrior 1, right foot forward, left foot back, heels to toes, on the ground on both feet, left foot pointing to the left side. Hips slightly coming forward, pay attention to that back knee, ankle, and foot. Good, and then depth of that front knee. Play around with that depth so you continue to feel through the hip, through that left knee, and that ankle and foot. Take a nice big inhale, and on the exhale, set the hands down. Step back to plank, vinyasa flow, exhale down, inhale, look up, and then press back to down dog. Same thing on the left side, take that left heel, float it up nice and high, open the hip and bend that knee. With control and with stability, draw that left knee forward, arch that back, set that foot down wherever it's going to set down, glue that right heel down onto the ground, stabilize, and lift up. Boom. Warrior 1 pose. Good. Left knee towards those pinky toes. Hips slightly coming forward, but they don't need to come forward. And they don't need to square up, okay? Because we pay attention to our right hip, knee, and ankle. Okay, if it comes too far forward, we're going to get into that hip a little bit, and that knee and that ankle, and it may not feel so hot. Right? That's right. Good. Take a big inhale, exhale, hands down, press back to plank position. Awesome. Let's go through a vinyasa flow. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, inhale, step forward, exhale, chair pose. Awesome. Now we're going to flow through a little bit of an inhale and exhale, chair. Good. Inhale. And exhale. And exhale through the mouth here. Inhale and exhale. Nice and energetic. Inhale and exhale. Keep going. Inhale and exhale. Nice. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Inhale And exhale. And last one, find that chair pose, hang out in that chair pose, left elbow now to the outside of that right leg, a little twisted chair. You'll see my feet and knees aren't together. You can separate them. Pressing those hands together, you can also reduce the range of motion. Find that twisted chair that works best for you, to where your breath is still flowing. Good. As we come back to center, stay low, set both hands down, keep that right leg on the ground and lift that left heel up. Lift that left heel up, 3-point balance. I'm going to stay facing forward here. Trust my voice. Trust my voice. From here, we're going to do a little bit of a balance type of challenge. So we're going to lift that left knee up and find a standing position. Left knee up into the sky. There we go. All right. Now we're welcome to keep that left knee bent. We can support it with our left hand, or we can lengthen that left leg out and support it again with our left hand, toe lock on that left foot, and just hold it straight out there. Okay? Now we're going to go to reverse hand to toe, so we're going to switch hands, where that right hand now is either going to be on the outside of that left leg, knee bent, or that right hand is at the toe. Good, right there, and then point your left hand behind you. Point that left hand behind you. And if you're feeling a little bit frisky this morning, take a peek at that left hand behind you and see how that balance is working for you. Okay? Remember just to be humble and relax. Okay, even if we fall, don't worry about it. It's called a practice for a reason. See, I'm trying to fall out of it. There we go. I just gave myself permission. Okay? Now, if I didn't give myself permission, I would have never tried it, and I wouldn't have set myself up for eventually a success where I can see that. Awesome. Let's come back front and center. Let's hinge back over, 3-point balance. Hands down, set both feet down. Exhale, chair pose. Chair pose, thumbs up toward the sky. Inhale, reach up, nice and high. And exhale through the mouth. Good. Inhale. So giving ourselves permission is allowing ourselves to be humble enough to be bad at something and be okay with that until maybe we're good at something. Okay? We don't always get good at something. Very rarely when we do it one time and we're good at something. 2 more, right? My daughter just got a skateboard. She's like, well, I stink at skating. I was like, well, how many times have you done it? Well, I just got the skateboard. Oh, okay. All right, inhale and exhale, find chair pose. Well, maybe give yourself permission to fail a few times. Right elbow to the outside of that left. Because that creates the conditions for success. We must fail to succeed. As Michael Jordan said, how many shots did he miss? How many game winners did he miss? But then look how successful he was. As we exhale, front and center, both hands down. Right heel comes up, 3-point balance as we lengthen that left leg. Good. And we're going to stand nice and tall. Nice and tall, right knee bend. Supporting that right knee with our right hand initially. We can lengthen that leg and keep it right there, or toe lock onto that right foot. Good. So a little hand to toe, and we're going to revolve that hand to toe. Take that left hand now onto the foot or the outside of that right knee and extend that right hand behind us. And again, give yourself permission to look behind you, okay? To challenge that balance a little bit, to challenge you a little bit. Quiet the mind, quiet the judgment, quiet the negativity, and just focus on what's possible. What's possible. Good, as we exhale back to front and center, let's find that 3-point balance. Whoop! Good. And then step back to plank position. It's time for another vinyasa flow. Here we go. All right. Little half push-up, look up. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale that right heel up nice and high. And then go ahead and bring it through warrior one pose. Right foot forward and that back foot down. I'm going to turn to the side now. Got a lot of stuff going on in this next flow. Okay, all right. Good, let's find warrior two. Take a nice big inhale and an exhale. Front knee and toe stay right where they're at. That left foot points to the left side so it's perpendicular to that front foot. Good, sturdy, strong foundation in this warrior two. Sinking in, and breathing through. Okay, nice big inhale on the exhale, right forearm to the top of that right leg, backhand up toward the sky, right angle pose. If it bothers your shoulder for that hand to be there, of course, bring it down. All right? So general rule with yoga, if it hurts, don't do it. Don't do it. It's just as simple as that. But it's just as hard as that as well. Good. All right. We're going to circle those arms around and down, find twisted low lunge. So that left hand's going to come down to the ground. That back heel's going to lift on up. And that right hand's going to lift up to the sky. And I'm going to just stay right here because I'll be right back with you facing the side. And so it'll be a better position for me. So I apologize that I'm turning my back to you right now. But just reach and try and stack through those shoulders. Keep that right knee coming towards your heart, scissoring those legs. Nice and strong legs. Good. All right. As we exhale, we're going to bring that right hand down and straddle that front foot. So this next thing is called a pulsing runner's lunge. So we're going to pulse 3 times down. So we're going to come down 3, 2, 1, and try and lengthen that front leg. Lengthen that front leg just a little bit without locking the knee. Okay, let's do that again. 3, 2, 1, and lift. Keep going. 3, 2, 1, and lift. Nice. We'll do that about 4 more times. Really sinking into that leg. Really working that right leg. Yeah. Building some strength. Good. Just pulse, 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 and then lift. Awesome. There we go. 3, 2, 1, and lift. Let's do that one more time, shall we? Let's do that, of course, of course. Yeah, all right. Now bring both hands to the instep, and let's find right angle pose. Either from the instep, okay, or that forearm on top of the leg. Avoid the knee. Back heel back down on the ground, and find right angle pose. Either to the ground, or that block on the instep of that foot. All right. With a nice big inhale, that front knee is going to stay bent, and we're going to find reverse warrior. So reach nice and high and sink into reverse warrior. Front knee is still towards those pinky toes, but squeeze that left glute, engage that muscle, and press our hips forward so we get a stretch in through our hips. Big, deep breaths. Good. All right. Keep the hand right where it's at. We're going to lengthen that front leg and reach even higher with that right hand. Reach a little bit higher into the sky. Lengthen the front side of our body. Let's find triangle pose now. Warrior two, arms. Inhale and exhale as far forward as you can. When you can reach no further, then we tip over. Stacking through those shoulders and ribs and lifting our hip. So trying to make it to where we're lifting our heart up to the sky, and we're not closing those shoulders down to the ground. So if we feel that our heart's coming down, we're losing engagement up top. If we feel nothing right here, then we need to lift up a little bit more. If we're feeling nothing on that top left side of our body, then we're closing down and we need to lift on up. Good. All right. So we exhale back to warrior two. We're going to straddle our mat. So just face the long edge of our mats, toes pointed to the long corners of those mats. We're going to inhale and open and squeeze those shoulder blades together, and exhale and round. Inhale, maybe lengthen those legs a little bit more, and exhale, sink down. And inhale like a cow pose, and exhale like a cat and round that spine. Good, do that a couple more times. Inhale and exhale. All right, so one more time, inhale and exhale with our knees bent. Cross those arms and bring those fingertips to the ground. Stay low, stay low. Again, with those knees bent, spider pose. And then begin lifting our hips up toward the sky like there's a string attached to our tailbone. Drawing those hips up to lengthen those legs a little bit more. Press through those fingertips and then lengthen between those shoulder blades. Breathe. Breathe. One last inhale and exhale. Very nice. Put a bend in our knees and then walk back to the head of our mat. Let's do a vinyasa flow and meet back in downward facing dog. All right. From downward dog, give us a moment to get there. Float that left heel up toward the sky and then bring it through Warrior One. Warrior One, I'm going to stay facing the side. Get squaring up, hips and shoulders. Well, heels to toes on the ground, deep bend in that front knee, hovering above the ankle. Good. Try and feel everything engaging and working together. Take a nice inhale and exhale and come to Warrior Two. All right. And lengthen those arms, sink into those legs. Good, nice, balanced posture, ears over shoulders, over hips. Let's find that right angle pose. So we'll inhale and then we'll exhale. Left forearm to the top of the leg, backhand to the sky, or curl that left arm in. Good, and if you want, just reach up overhead just a little bit more. Find that right angle. We're going to continue on and find that twisted low lunge. So we'll circle that top arm through, set that right hand on the ground, pick that right heel up, and inhale that left hand up toward the sky. Squeezing and scissoring those legs together so our left knee is coming toward our heart. The natural reaction of that front leg is to just open up and that hip to get lazy. Don't let that happen. Squeeze and scissor those legs together. All right. Very nice. Straddle that front foot now in that triple pulse and leg lift. Here we go. So we're going to go 3, 2, 1, a little bit deeper stretch, and then lengthen that leg, a little hamstring stretch, almost like we're going to a wide leg pyramid. 3, 2, 1, and lift. I'm trying to just come onto my toes, pressing and engaging my arch on my right foot. I'm trying to settle my arch instead, but for some reason I'm pushing. 3, 2, 1, and lift. Let that arch just naturally stretch. We'll do a total of 5 right here, really engaging that front leg. Woo! Good. When we're done with those 5, let's bring both hands to the instep, glue that right heel back onto the ground, and then find right angle pose yet again. All right, there we go. Back to right angle. Deeply in this posture. On our next big inhale, our lower body stays quiet, the upper body lifts up, reverse warrior. Inhale, good. See, nothing changed on my lower body. Nothing's moving. The only thing that's moving is hinging through my hips and raising that front hand. From right angle to reverse warrior. Everything was stable. Good. Reach and breathe. Reach and breathe. Good. Stretch across the front side of our body. Squeeze that right glutes. Engage that muscle. And then keep that left hand up toward the sky. Lengthen that left leg. Reach even higher. Reach even higher and feel that stretch across the front side of our body. Coming back to Warrior Two arms. Take a nice big inhale and exhale. Reach as far as you go. As far as you can go. Then we tip over, triangle pose. Triangle pose. Again, try and feel something up top. If we're not feeling something up top, we're closing down. It's as simple and as hard as that. Okay, so just open up and feel that stretch right through here, right to the top of the ribs, those external obliques. Less is more sometimes, especially in triangle pose. Especially triangle pose. So we exhale, let's find warrior two yet again. And then we're going to straddle our mats. Back to those cross arms. Exhale and inhale, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Exhale and round. Inhale and squeeze. Do that 3 more times. Stay into those legs, knees to toes. Exhale and inhale. All right. Last time, exhale and inhale. Continue that inhale. Sweep those arms up and exhale to heart center. Position those feet to where they're just straight forward and squared up. Inhale up nice and tall. Exhale, long spine, long back, straight legs. Control that descent. And then exhale, engage, interlock those arms and rock side to side. Nice relaxing stretch right here. Feeling that center of gravity through our arms to get a deeper stretch. Not only through our shoulders, but into our lower back and glutes. Then we're going to release our hands. Begin walking those hands back behind our heels, behind our hips. Trying to draw the crown of our head down towards the ground a little more. Now if you have a block, maybe you set that block out in front. And as you walk those hands back, get deeper into that hamstring stretch, you can rest your forehead onto that block. And just settle into that pose where you're feeling something all over. Should be engaging. We shouldn't have to force anything. We should feel engaged, but we shouldn't feel like we're forcing. Very nice. Let's take a couple more inhales and exhales. And then walk those hands back to center, a little bend in those knees, sweep those hands nice and tall, and exhale to heart center. All right, good. Walk those feet in, and let's find the seated position. Let's find the seated position onto our mats. There we go. All right, very nice. Okay, right foot forward, left leg bends. Right leg forward, and left leg bends. So single leg forward fold, inhale up nice and tall, and exhale and reach as far forward as we can. When we can go no further, then we stabilize. Either at the foot, ankle, or shin, or just rest those hands beside the leg. And still maintaining that deep breath, The exhales allow our body, our muscles to naturally release, to naturally soften. And so as we exhale, that's when we should make little adjustments. If we feel like we need a little bit more on the stretch, breathe in and lift, and exhale and sink in a little bit more. Breathe in and lift, exhale, sink in. Use the exhales to your advantage to soften, to release that tension that we're carrying. And we're going to exhale and move out of this. Take that left ankle, bring it above that right knee. Keep the legs right there now, and inhale up and exhale and forward fold. So that left ankle's pressing into the leg and just keeping it to the ground. Maybe we're not reaching as far now, and that's okay. If you want, you can also rest the elbow onto that left knee just to keep that hip open. Okay? Just feeling maybe a little bit something different here. and then adjusting again with the exhales. On an exhale, go ahead and release. Keep that left leg right where it's at, hands to the side, and start putting a bend in that right knee for a seated pigeon pose. Either the heel's on the ground, toes up, or that whole foot's on the ground. Each one of us will have a different position for that leg based on that left hip and where that left hip wants to go today. Good, so we sit nice and tall, we lean in, bring our heart closer to that left leg so that we get a deeper stretch through that left hip and through our glutes. All right, very nice. As we exhale, we're gonna set that left foot down on the ground. We're just gonna tip that foot over, boom, crawl that right leg under, and just keep it right there. With that left leg, we're going to take that right elbow, the eye of our elbow, and just wrap it around and give that left leg a hug and point behind us, or set that left hand on the ground and rotate and turn. Getting that deep stretch into those deep glute muscles. Good rotation. Sit nice and tall and breathing through this. And the adjustments on the exhales. All right. Now go ahead and keep that right leg right where it's at. It's tucked underneath so we have that little shelf for some stability. Because what we're going to do is we're going to do revolved hand to toe from the seated position. So our left hand's going to stay right on the ground. Right fingertips is either going to grab behind the outside of our left knee, or toe lock onto that left big toe. Capping it off with the thumb and point your left hand behind you. This is not only a stretch through the hamstring and the outside leg, but a core engaging exercise as well. Can always set that left hand onto the ground too, totally up to you. And then as we exhale, release. Very nice. Left leg long, right leg bent. Inhale up nice and tall, and exhale, reach as far as you can go, and then stabilize when you can go no further. Little adjustments on the exhales. Deep stretches, but in a way that allows our body to stretch warm muscles while cool down our body and our nervous system and our minds, allowing both of those to find our restful nature. Exhale, release. Let's bring that right ankle now above that left knee. And do that forward fold yet again. Inhale and exhale. A little bit different this time. Just avoid that knee. Make sure we're not putting stress on that left knee. It's above the knee, and that soft part, almost that little dense, that little soft part right above our knee. If it doesn't feel right, then it's probably not right. So make sure it feels right. Good deep breaths. As we exhale and release, bring those hands to the side, start putting a bend in that left knee. Again, heel down, toes up, or whole foot on the ground, lean into that right leg. Bring your heart closer to the right leg. Keep that hip open, that right knee open, and try and feel that stretch. Pigeon pose in this seated position. A little bit more gentle on the knees than that prone pigeon or laying on top of our legs. We like to provide variety. Practice also means we provide variety. As we exhale, let's set that right foot down on the ground, tuck that left leg under, the eye of our left elbow in front of that right knee. Grab and give that right leg a hug, either finger to point behind you or set that right hand down. Sit tall. Good stretch through those deep glute muscles and our hips. We'll keep that left leg right where it's at. We're going to find that revolved hand to toe again. Again, either that left hand's the outside of the leg, or we bind onto the toe, and that right hand extends and reaches behind us, rotate. Breathe in control, owning this pose. And on our next exhale, gently release on down. Good. We'll bend in our knees, grab behind those knees as we interlock our ankles. We'll roll onto our back and draw our knees to our chest. Wrapping those arms around those legs just to release our lower back a little bit. And we'll draw those heels up toward the sky and drape our hands across the front of our feet. Grab onto the bottom of our feet as we draw our knees into our armpits. Knees into our armpits. I always say that. I always want to say, as we draw our elbows into our armpits. I'd like to see that happen. That would be painful. Don't do that. Let's find happy baby. Once we get those knees into our armpits, we can rock a little bit side to side. Rock and release. Rock and relax. Not only a good stretch for hip mobility, those glutes and hamstrings. Also a good little massage on our back as we rock side to side. As we release from here, knees to chest yet again, wrap those arms around those legs and give those legs a hug. Give those knees a little bit of a squeeze. And use the strength of your arms to see how strong you are. Hold, and make yourself into that ball. Squeeze and give it your all. And keep holding for 3 and 2 and then 1 and release. Let's find our restful pose, Shavasana. Let's find a relaxation pose. I'm going to dim the lights and guide us through Shavasana. So as we find Shavasana, if you want the closeout song, it's called Cassiopeia by Max Richter. It's a really nice song. Go ahead and switch to that. And then on our mats, let's just sprawl out, release any tension in our bodies, scan our bodies to find any remaining tension we might be holding on to. And on the exhales, release it. Try to just soften our bodies as we commit to just being right on our mats 100%. Right there where we're at. Opening up our palms, releasing our fingers, relaxing our arches as our toes are relaxed. Allowing our glutes to just press into the mat beneath us and our shoulders to relax down and away from our ears. Creating space between our teeth as we relax our jaws. And allow our body to be expressionless and still. When we find that stillness, we can now discover the effects of our practice, not only on our body, but on our minds and our emotional states. What did we bring to the mat today? And what did we allow ourselves to do while we were on the mats? Did we give ourselves permission to fail? Do we give ourselves permission to wobble and stumble? Do we allow ourselves to be set up for our ultimate success by cutting ourselves some slack and setting aside criticism, setting aside judgments? We allow ourselves to just get out of the mode of doing, get out of the mode of busyness and mindlessness, and get in the mode of mindfulness and in the mode of being. Allowing ourselves to just find our way, as if our mat is the guide. A friend of mine shared this closing message, and I thought it made so much sense. I'm going to share it with you right now. Crazy busy is a great armor for each one of us. It's a great way that we often use for numbing. What a lot of us do is we stay so busy and so out in front of our life that the truth of how we're feeling and who we are is something that we continue to evade. And what we really need to do is catch up with us. And so getting out of the mode of that crazy busy, getting out of the mode of doing, if there's any solace and benefit to this time that we've been able to have, it's that we've had the time to catch up with us. I honor the love and light in each of you as it's also within me. Namaste.